Alright, I want to start with a crazy idea. What if your phone was not a distraction? Completely wild, I know. How could I even propose such a preposterous thing? And I'm only being a little bit sarcastic. What is actually happening is pretty sad. Our phones are a gateway to an entirely new world, one full of people you can obsessively compare yourself with. There is no shortage of strongly held, uninformed opinions about anything and everything.
Do I believe in climate change? No.
You don't believe in climate change?
Well,
You could bring some big energy. You don't have to have a big
Who here is for body positivity?
yes.
Yeah.
Who can forget the persistent pandering of misinformation that caters an audience's existing beliefs?
I would not say we live inside of a computer simulation, but you do live inside of the Matrix. Most of you are slaves.
Not to mention scantily dressed girls capitalizing on a loneliness pandemic. There are endless trends about nonsense just so influencers can get some much needed attention. Drama is around every corner, and the ads are everywhere. The days are gone when life moved at a slower pace. Now the days of overstimulation where one is constantly entertained. It's clear our culture is kind of broken when a video about replacing your phone with a notepad gets millions of views. That's not a criticism of Austin, by the way. I actually really liked his video. He made a lot of good points. What I'm talking about is this idea presented before you even watch the video. Austin presented an idea that enticed over 1 million people to click on the video, probably with the intent of having this question answered. Can a notepad replace my phone too? To which my question would be, why would you want to? And of course, it's the same reason why videos about dumb phones, dopamine and social media detoxes become so popular. People are not happy with what our phones are doing to us. Sometimes you see a group of friends together and they are more interested in interacting with their phones than with each other. People have become more concerned about appearing like they are having fun than actually fully immersing themselves wherever they are. You hear complaints from individuals about how they struggle to get work done because they can't stop wasting time on their phones. It's as if we are on a train, missing stop after stop. We can literally see everything we're missing out of the window, yet we can't bring ourselves to tell the conductor to stop the train. In this video you learn why it's so hard to get off the train. It's about the role of dopamine in the formation of habits and the pursuit of goals. So I recommend giving that a watch at some point. But in that video, I only briefly talked about distractions. And since it is a massively common problem, I thought it deserved a video of its own. Let's go back to the analogy of the train. What is propelling this train forwards? When you learn more about how the attention economy works, you may think it's the algorithms or the engineers writing the algorithms to manipulate you psychologically and neurologically. And yes, this is part of the problem, but it's also unavoidable. You can't expect Instagram, TikTok, or any other business to disadvantage themselves by trying to not capture your attention. Businesses want to sell their products and services, which isn't a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. Even your friends are competing for your attention so they could be seen and validated. When you only have a limited bandwidth and everyone wants a part of it, the value of your attention skyrockets. Since attention has become so valuable, these people will go to great lengths to optimize capturing the attention of as many people as possible. You can't blame them for it, you'll do the same thing too if you're in their position. That what survives multiplies. So you have some of the smartest and most capable people in the world working to lure you onto a train and keep you on it. When you acknowledge this, it's reasonable to think, what chance do I have against literal teams of geniuses? Okay, fair, let's play that out. Let's say because of engineering, you don't have control over being on that train. Anyone competent enough to lure you onto that train can do so. If this is the case, you are nothing more than the victim of these algorithms. And that's when the ideas behind notepads and detoxes emerge. And for good reason too. The logic is, I cannot be lured onto this train if I never see the bait. It is one solution to the problem, but it also reminds me of someone putting themselves on a chicken and broccoli diet because they want to lose weight. If you're able to maintain it, then yes, it will work. However, these approaches are rarely sustainable. If you're new here, I'm an engineer, and I am obsessed with finding effective and efficient solutions to problems. In order to do that, you need to be confident that the proposed solution is solving the root cause of the problem, not just a symptom of it. For example, let's say you are overweight and you want to reduce your body fat percentage. A solution to a symptom would be I need to change the foods I eat. Whereas addressing the root problem will start by asking, what is my relationship to food? Why do I overeat? The reasons why people form the relationships they have with food are limitless. There will be an entire spectrum of complexity, which, by the way, is why psychologists exist, to help you disentangle that complexity with the outcome being actionable steps to facilitate you towards your goal. Through the process, you'll have a greater sense of well-being, and the solutions you introduce are much more likely to be sustainable. It appears to me that labeling your phone as a cause to your distractions is a misdiagnosis. People have the real tendency to shift personal responsibility away from themselves and onto, say, for example, the evil corporations of the world. And there is some truth to that for the reasons I have previously mentioned. But it's not as if you have zero control over what you choose to engage with. You are the conductor of this train. It isn't until you wholeheartedly believe this that you'll take full responsibility over the situation you're in. So when I see these narratives about attention hijacking and the plethora of distractions that are bestowed upon us, I think it's a real shame that a tool as amazing as a phone has become the culprit. If I can speak from my own experience, I love my phone. It's a tool I use every day to orientate and organize myself in the world. From tracking my workouts and macros to challenging my worldview. From learning how to tell better stories to connecting with people I care about. From capturing incredible moments of my life to navigating my surroundings. From introducing me to meditation to structuring my day. This thing is incredible. It has improved my life in a variety of ways. Sure, my attention may get hijacked by the occasional YouTube video or the too frequent checking of my emails. Sometimes I'll spend way too much time watching videos on my phone when I should be getting ready for sleep. However, despite these moments of lapsing focus, I do not see my phone as a distraction. I can work for hours with my phone on the desk and feel zero temptation to distract myself from the resistance as I progress through the work. I have hour-long conversations with friends and family without the thought of finding something more entertaining. Just a couple days ago, I went to a Korean cafe and ordered some fried chicken. While the lovely people were preparing the food, I sat there listening to the sounds of the kitchen, observing the variety of decorations scattered through the cafe, and gave my mind space to wander in any direction it wanted to go. During my 30 minutes of waiting, I got to see other people enter the cafe, plop themselves on a seat, and immediately open TikTok. It made me think that if you are unable to welcome the company of your own thoughts and be present in your environment, then you have a problem worth addressing. Similar to the overeating example, there are endless reasons why you have the problems you have. It requires introspective work to identify the root causes. I am someone who generally does not struggle with getting distracted or procrastination, but there are still a couple things I have implemented to ensure I remain focused on the task at hand. They may prove to be useful for you too. The first is I plan ahead. That means I know what I'm going to do before I do it. All I have to do is follow the plan. I have found if there is unplanned time in between tasks, I'm likely to spend it watching YouTube or, in other terms, taking the path of least resistance. The second thing I do is I turn all notifications off my phone, except for messages and calls. I just don't want it buzzing and chirping at me. I want to use it with clear intentions. So it seems to me the best approach is taking the advice of a meditation principle, being present with your thoughts and acknowledging they exist without chasing after them. You can use your phone with clear intent, notice when you are deviating from that intended use, and then decide whether or not to engage with it. This is not the same as forcefully trying to eliminate all distractions, because as we have talked about, that is not a sustainable solution. In the case of intention, you are attempting to reshape your identity to be one of mindful control rather than that of someone who is distracted easily. We absolutely live in the stories we craft for ourselves. So if you're able to prove to yourself you are someone capable of self-control, then you can rewrite your own narrative. And there is a tremendous amount of confidence to be taken from that. Now, if you're someone that aspires to achieve self-control, there is something about discipline you must know. In this video, I hiked for 4 days without eating any food, so I could put my own discipline to the test. In it, I reveal something that may make discipline just a little bit easier.